Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I'm finally in a place where I look and feel a lot more like myself, and I wanted to share with you guys my experience with quite severe allergic reactions and mild topical steroid withdrawal, i.e. TSW. I've been trying to deal with this for the past 4 to 5 months as smoothly as possible. Part of this process meant that I had to stop using any type of skincare. This includes not wearing SPF every day and also stopping my tretinoin until further notice. I'm finally now in March able to incorporate my moisturiser and foundation back into my routine without it causing any irritation or creating any flare-up. My skin is currently quite dry, it's generally quite dehydrated, and it can become red quite easily. I still get red flushes here and there, and I get small patches of eczema across my face out of the blue sometimes, but it's much better than it was before. If you don't know much about TSW, then I will explain it in further detail in this video, but just for a quick disclaimer, I am not a qualified healthcare professional. I am talking about my own experience, so take what you will from this video, but of course consult with a proper professional person and they can help you with your own requirements. But if you're ready, then let's get into this video. Just for some tiny background around my skin, I have highly sensitive skin. I had eczema as a baby, but that went away as I grew older. 9 out of 10 products that I carefully select just will end up not working out for my skin, and I'd have to end up giving it away to my sister or mum. But yeah, I have very sensitive skin. Essentially, I am very familiar with what irritation looks like versus an allergic reaction. Okay, so onto this story. So this begins back in October 2023, so last year. I had my first crazy allergic reaction happen across my entire face. This happened from an unknown trigger. I'll insert photos on the screen when I'm talking throughout this video so you can have something to refer to, but my skin would become extremely swollen, red, weeping, very itchy, and just warm to the touch, and I'd get red flush skin a lot of the time when the temperature would rise a little bit. So when that happened, I swapped all of my skincare products out and changed to new ones, but that didn't really help. So I eventually stopped using any skincare at all, apart from the steroid creams that I was prescribed with. This trigger became my worst enemy because as long as it was around, my allergies would be around. I started my journey with steroid creams from this first reaction, and it was prescribed to reduce inflammation. But whenever I came off it, the allergies would resurface. This cycle happened on and off with steroid use for 3 to 4 months. I was using Umivate and hydrocortisone at either 0.5 or 1%, which is considered to be quite low. I would make sure to only use each prescription for 1 week and to 2 weeks maximum, and the second week would usually be me trying to wean off of it. Every time I'd call back when the allergies resurfaced, I'd be prescribed with a new tube of steroid cream. This is where I am now today, dealing with TSW. Before I talk about topical steroid withdrawal, I want to mention that what I had was allergic contact dermatitis, and that's a type of eczema. This is what the GP had also identified for examining photos of my face, and the steroids were supposed to fix this. It was supposed to calm down the inflammation in hopes that the problem would fix itself after I came off of it. Really, all I needed was to be allergy tested, and that would help me find the root cause of the issue, and I could eliminate that factor. Steroid use over time can lead to topical steroid withdrawal. It's the unwanted reaction from your skin when you completely take steroids out of the equation because your skin has become so dependent on using it to fight that inflammation. Essentially, I was going through having allergies this whole time, but it was being suppressed and kind of covered up by steroid creams. I was prescribed it 3 times in total, from my first reaction up until the start of February, and February is when I managed to find the trigger, and it was also when I realised that I am now going through TSW. So on my 3rd time I was prescribed with a steroid cream, I was able to see a doctor in person, and she referred me to get allergy tested as soon as she saw me, because the state of my face was just not it. But by then, I had already managed to find the trigger myself, and the trigger was the Method Surface Spray. I've recently changed jobs, and in the office, our cleaner uses the Method spray very generously around the whole entire office. And it just clicked in my head, because it's always up in the air, and if I was going cold turkey with my skincare, it couldn't have been anything I was putting on my face, because I wasn't putting anything on my face. And when I had allergies the previous times, which only affected my eyes, that same spray was present in my life, but I never really tracked it down to be that before. And as soon as I brought up the concern to my managers and swapped over to a new spray, my allergies stopped. However, at this very same point in time, I was finishing up my last tube of steroid cream. I was also adding back in my moisturiser to my routine. A few days later, I noticed patches of my skin were starting to look like the beginning of an allergy flare again, even though I was sure I'd eliminated the allergen 100%. This is when my TikTok research and endless scrolling has helped me out, because naturally I came across eczema videos and TSW whilst I was going through it. One of the methods that TSW sufferers go through is trying out no moisture treatment. This is when you don't use any creams or any hydrating liquids. And when I stopped using my moisturiser, the patches had recovered very quickly. Even so, I'm still dealing with the later stages of topical steroid withdrawal at present. My topical steroid withdrawal was very mild compared to what others are going through and have gone through. Symptoms can include skin thinning, skin flaking, cracking, and some people may get what's known as elephant skin over time. I had the swelling, weeping, and flaking stages since February up until now. Alongside TikTok, there's a website which I found very useful in explaining the stages of TSW. It really helps me to understand there is an end point to the process, even though it may seem far off. This kept going on and on, even when I was able to add moisturiser back into my routine, because my skin cells just weren't at a healthy enough level to sustain itself on the surface. It's a deeper issue inside your immune system, where it requires your whole nervous system and immune system to rebalance and repair itself. The stages will look different for different people. There will be a lot of back and forth as well sometimes, and healing isn't linear, but different factors that affect the length of time which you can recover from TSW will be the potency of steroids you were using, how long you were using it for, and how often you applied it to your skin during that journey. And used information from that site to create a guide on the stages, a rough guideline, a very rough guideline on how it can look. So stage 1 is inflamed skin, and the response from your skin cells is to turn red, become warm, start weeping, and you may swell as well. The swelling part was one of the most difficult parts for me, because I just couldn't recognise myself in the mirror, and that was something quite hard hitting to deal with. But doing no moisture treatment really helped me to get through this stage a lot quicker, and as soon as I stopped using any moisture, my skin had improved quite a lot. Stage 2 is exudation and scabbing. A cycle of weeping, crusting, and scabbing will happen, and it will happen again and again because your skin is too fragile to maintain scabbing. My skin typically wept after washing my face or after a large swelling phase, and you could visibly see along those patches how thin and fragile your skin is, and it's a very scary stage to be in, because your skin is like paper thin, and it's just difficult to mentally comprehend. Stage 3 is skin cell proliferation and flaking. This is a really good part to be at. Unattractive it may be, it's a very good sign of healing. This stage is when your skin cells are trying to rapidly reproduce, and that means the top layer of your skin will be flaking off. Your cells are trying to produce healthy layers underneath the surface. So as it works its way to the top, your skin will flake off, and this will happen again and again until the surface layers are healthy enough to sustain itself. There was a morning where I had looked in the mirror and I thought, oh my god, it's so bad. I need to get this flaking off and be able to go to work. So I dampened a towel and I exfoliated. For the rest of the day, my skin was so angry at me. It was just so red, and if anything, it just slowed the process of healing down. So don't do that. Stage 4 is skin remodeling. This comes jointly with the end stages of skin flaking. And it's when your skin becomes quite taut. It's your collagen trying to build its elasticity back up and firmness back up. You'll likely see tiny wrinkles where your skin is pulling itself together, and it's more noticeable around your eyes because your skin is thinner there. And I want to talk to you guys about the 2 most helpful things that I've done to help me get through this process with a lot more ease. And that's Dead Sea salt therapy as well as no moisture treatment together. As hard as it was to begin no moisture treatment, it's one of the things that's really saved my skin. Once a day, I'd pour some Sea Magic Dead Sea salt into a bowl of warm water, and I'd get a face cloth, dip it in, and sort of push it into my skin. And I'd continually dip it in, wring it out, push it into my face for 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. Then I'd wash it off with clean water so that there's no residue on there, and then I'd leave it with no moisture, so nothing at all. I'd go to sleep, then wake up, no moisture again, repeat. So no skincare during this time, just Dead Sea salt therapy before bed, not using any moisture, going to sleep, waking up, not doing anything for the rest of the day, same again. Not using any eczema creams or any makeup, foundation type of bases has really helped my skin. During the beginning, if I tried to introduce moisturiser back into my routine, my skin just wouldn't like it. It would swell and become itchy, and the cycle would sort of start again. I only added that back in once my flaking stage had become minimal. I also tried red light therapy, but that was a big no-no for my skin. It actually ended up burning it somehow. I don't know how, it definitely did though, so I just stopped with that method altogether, but I know that it helps a lot of other people. I also made sure to keep a detailed skin diary just to keep track of everything I've done. I also kept a food diary because it's something the GP suggested for me to do and take it to my allergy testing appointment just to see if I've got any food allergies there as well. And along with my usual cod liver and omega-3 oil supplements that I also take an antihistamine tablet every day, and I try to eat low histamine foods as much as I can, but that's very difficult for me. I went into full-on recovery mode for my skin, firstly for my allergy/eczema, and then for my TSW, focusing on everything I could do to get my skin back on track. When you don't look or feel like yourself, it's very hard to stay positive and feel motivated to do the things that you like and want to do. My channel and passion revolves around skincare. It's literally like the only thing that I like, particularly anti-aging skincare. So it took me a good while to come to terms with not moisturising, not using SPF every day, and not using my tretinoin. It was a very difficult thing to get into my head and have to action, but no moisture treatment meant I physically couldn't use anything. I've learnt that there is no shame in dropping your skincare. Once your skin has come to a point where it's able to handle things, you can go back to it in the future. I have made some type of breakthrough with mine, which I'm very thankful for, but that doesn't stop me from being super fearful that if I run into an allergen again or the same allergen, then this cycle may happen again. But I know for 100% that I won't be using steroids ever again. That's all I have for you guys today, so thank you very much for listening to my experience and my story of where I've been. I will be back with more videos, so please stay tuned for those. I would love to hear your own experiences with TSW if you've been through or are going through it. I love to hear personal experiences because everyone's so different, and any tips are so welcomed. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next video.